Is monogamy dead? That is the question that I'm trying to answer today. One of the greatest things about traveling is that I get to meet people from all walks of lives. And one thing I often say is that we are all different, but at the same time, we are very similar in the sense that we deal with very similar issues globally. Today, non-monogamy is more accepted in some parts of the world, but it does create a challenge in others. A little while back, I had a chance to visit Dubai, and I had a chance to talk to one of my guides about the way they deal with non-monogamy. This is what he told me.
If you can have multiple wives, why can a woman have multiple husbands?
It will make the problem worse in the first place. Based on the ratio that you have more women than men, this will make the problem worse.
Right.
And as per nature, it cannot work. As a man, when I have 2 wives or 3 wives or 4 wives maximum, I have to treat them equally. And if the 4 women get pregnant, we know who the father, who the mother is.
Right.
One father, one mother. Let's say one woman has 4 husbands and she gets pregnant, who is the father?
Now I know for many of you it may be a shock, but you do understand that it is a religious practice. It's the same in several countries in Africa, where often the men also has the power of the purse. And as a result, it leads to women to be more accepting to the non-monogamy practices. That is the reason why I wasn't exactly shocked when my friend Francois in Ivory Coast told me the following when I asked him about monogamy.
Do you believe in monogamy?
But monogamy, what is this? You know, we're mammifers. You know, we're mammals. We're mammals. You know, look at mammals in the nature. You know, what monogamy is an invention of I don't know who.
But I have to admit, I was not expecting this part of his answer.
So at this point, you're more looking for just fun, generally.
No, you can have strong relationship, serious relationship with different people at the same time.
Right.
Doesn't mean you're cheating on anybody.
Explain that.
So can you be in a non-monogamous relationship and not cheat? His way of thinking is also mirrored with this young lady that I had the pleasure to talk to in Nairobi, Kenya, who is engaged also in a non-monogamy. And when I asked her about this, she indicated to me that she prefers to be a side chick.
So you think single life is better?
It's better.
And being a side chick is even better? Wow.
We are used to hearing men, those who are courageous enough to talk on camera about their personal beliefs about relationships. One thing is clear, men and women relationship is quite complex. Non-monogamy is not a norm in many Western countries. What is even harder to find is a woman in the West who is engaged in non-monogamy not for financial reasons, not for lack of education, not because she doesn't have a choice. You can be from a quote-unquote rich country with opportunities and still believe in non-monogamy. And I was quite interested in hearing what she had to say. So that's the subject of this video today. It's this lady that I met here in Poland, and we had this conversation regarding non-monogamy, and I thought she was very interesting. So we filmed this video. Enjoy.
So guys, I met the most interesting person here in this city of Krakow, I think. Here, Krakow.
You think?
Yeah, traveling so much I get tired and I forget where I am. So meet Elena. How you doing today?
I'm great, actually.
All right,
I'm
good.
working today.
You're working, all right.
Yeah, and apparently I'm doing an interview. So.
I just had to share some of the conversation we had, you know. So, guys, we're gonna talk about adult things because I think it's important to exchange information about different beliefs about life and relationship. So, first question: how do you feel about monogamy and marriage?
Not just in marriage. I think it's a conscious choice. It's not granted. I think monogamy, like natural monogamy, is a scam. But I truly think that if you can have a monogamous relationship if you're doing every day a conscious choice to actually have that. It doesn't come off naturally.
Yeah.
And it should be more normalized.
Yeah.
That people might not be monogamous and not live with that guilt. Because I truly believe if that was the case, there should be like more open communication, like,
Yes.
naturally.
Yes.
and like more, just less divorces, issues with the relationships and ugly breakups, because we see everyone cheating. Why do they cheat? Why are they bad people? Are all of them bad people, bad and dishonest people?
Yeah.
No, society just made them oppressed and like to normalize monogamy when it's not normalized. It's not for me, it's not natural,
Yeah.
but it can be a conscious choice.
Right.
So that's the difference. I think that should be normalized. The conversation around avoiding monogamy and wanting to be with people and stuff like that, because it naturally brings open communication.
Yes. But do you think people are cheating because of sex or because of some kind of emotional need?
I don't think necessarily sex is intertwined with emotions. For some people, maybe, but that's not granted. That's
Yes.
not like, I think that whole propaganda around having sex, if you like truly only love a person or have like really strong feelings about them,
Yes.
is actually bullshit. It was great,
Yes.
like it's a fairy tale,
Yes.
It's not a real deal.
Yes.
So they can't just be. Each case is different,
Yes.
You can't actually be a one-time rule for everything.
Yes.
Just depends on the situation, on the relationship, on the person.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah. Okay. So generally in Athens or even here, what has been your experience with men? Like, do you trust men at this point? Because if you're saying, and I agree with you, monogamy seems to be a thing of the past for many people,
Yeah.
and people look down on you when you say you don't believe in monogamy. It's like you are wrong. Like in Africa, they do polygamy. It's actually the norm.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
norm.
and I found it actually fascinating. I was watching a documentary about it.
Yeah.
And like watching like women actually, you know what the difference is though? It's a double standard.
Yes.
It's not the same for two sexes. It's
Yeah.
the same for men.
Yes.
It's the deal for men, that's the deal.
Yeah.
Of they actually can be with a lot of women and can marry legally a lot of women.
Yes.
But then again, if a woman is like wants to be with a lot of men
Yes.
and not be monogamous, this again, even in Africa, like criticized.
Yes.
I don't think it should be a double standard.
Yes.
Because I don't believe the fact that like men are hormonal and animals and they're the only ones who like can't control their needs. I truly believe everyone can control their needs. Like we're modern people, but like women have needs too of like not necessarily wanting to be with the same man, and should be normalized more because.
Yeah. The issue there is that most men will say it's okay for me to go get somebody else,
Yeah.
but it's not okay for you. Because they would say,
Yeah.
well, I'm the breadwinner, I make more money, I take care of you, so
Okay.
therefore I get to do this, right?
Okay, so yeah, what you just all said is a problem of toxic masculinity. Obviously, like a sexism and toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
Like, why would a male ego be more important than a female one?
Right.
I have an ego too.
Right.
But I don't let it cloud my emotions and the way I treat other people. Why
Yeah.
do you?
Yeah, no, it's a cultural thing, right? Like I was in the Middle East, and men can have 4 wives, right? But women cannot have more than 1 husband.
Obviously.
They would say because it comes to kids, they want to have kids. That's why they're allowed to have multiple wives. Where it's really that's where the cultural differences comes in, where it crashes. It has. They will tell you it has nothing to do with sex. It has to do with childbearing.
Yeah, Middle East is a whole other example.
Right.
Because then again, the rules, I don't believe, they're like the same for men and women.
Yes.
And nowhere is, but at least even, like theoretically, in Middle East, even that, it doesn't, it's not the case.
Yeah.
So it's like more like a cultural thing and a religious thing.
Yes.
It's a whole other subject.
Right. It is.
For example, even in the US, okay, it's
Yeah.
supposed to be really progressive.
Yes.
Equal rights, yada yada yada. That's not the case.
It's not.
It's not. Like double standards still exist.
Of course.
And like monogamy is way more accepted in terms of men when it comes to men, but it doesn't when it comes to women.
Right.
A woman is obviously labeled as a slut, as a
That's
woman
true.
of low morals.
Right.
It's not the case.
No, it's
though,
not. Yeah. No, it's true. especially in men-dominated societies like that, women's sexual needs is something that people don't even want to talk about. You know, it's looked down upon, and you know. So I thought that's why I wanted to talk to you, because it's not easy or common to find a woman who's okay with non-monogamy.
Yeah.
Because monogamy seems to be the norm, right?
Yeah, I think it's not like, you know, there's this stereotype where women actually, you know, they said that women, they're more romantic and they're more like monogamous and stuff, you know, stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
But what if it's like that's how they grew up, because they grew up with their parents saying to them like, you know, one guy taking care of you, of like being, you know, the most important person in his life, like you're a princess, or like with Disney movies, like you know, fairy tales, stuff like that. Men grew up in the mentality of like, oh, you're a guy, or what about girls? Is it just one girl? You know, but being encouraged to polygamy.
Yes.
Women being discouraged of that.
Yes.
So I think it's a matter of how you grow up.
Yes.
And the cultural thing.
Yeah, that's true. But so how do you feel about polygamy? Do you think it's something that you will be okay getting into?
Yeah, because when emotions are implicated, you know, you're in men, women both, like, you know, your judgment gets a bit blurred.
Of course.
You know, you can't make the same.
You never know until when you fall in love, you do crazy things.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So theoretically, I think there are different like dimensions of polygamy. It's different, like being emotionally implicated with more than one person.
Yes.
But it's different being sexually implicated with
Yes.
more than one person.
Yeah.
And actually being, you know, emotionally like invested in just one.
Yes.
It's a different dimension.
Yes.
First of all, you know, a couple should clear that, like your you know, needs and what you want and your desires, you know. I think in all the cases there should be initially, you know, open communication.
Yes.
And actually, you know, that starts with getting rid of the pressure of this of society.
Yeah.
And you know, the whole like prejudice around polygamy.
Yes.
And human beings being, you know, like sexual
Yeah.
and openly so.
Yes.
So yeah, it starts with open communication. To be honest, personally, if someone's like, I want to be like emotionally involved with more than, you know, one woman, I don't know how comfortable I'll be about it. I'm crystal clear, honest. No, I'm honest, you know. I'm
Yeah.
crystal clear, and I'll tell him that. If a sexual thing is a whole other matter, though.
Yeah.
Because I understand that more.
Yeah.
Obviously, it should come with, you know, after open conversation, and there should be some ground rules.
Yes.
And it should be like a conversation that it's, a couple always comes back to.
Yes.
Changes, you know. Like
Right.
for example, this year I want to be with just one person because I'm head over heels with him. After a year, I still love him. You know, it's a common dilemma.
Yeah.
I still love him. I still want him in my life.
Yeah.
But I'm attracted sexually to another guy.
Yeah.
That was and a lot of like from
Did you
that
tell him that?
situation. Yeah, I do.
How do you feel about that?
I feel that even if it would be an uncomfortable, you know, conversation for me. Obviously, it will be difficult. I get that. It will be like draining, emotionally draining and difficult, and it will be a process.
Yes.
However, it's a conversation that must be had, because it's like, how do you know? It's like I'm disrespecting the other person if I do not address
As long
it.
as you're being honest, I don't think you're
Yeah,
wrong.
that's it.
Being
That's
dishonest
exactly.
and cheating is that's
Dishonestly
disrespectful.
Yeah, exactly it. If I'm like go behind his back, that's disrespectful. If I am actually upfront about it,
Yeah.
it's actually, you know, like honesty and communication, and even can bring a couple closer, you know.
I agree.
However, let's just know here that a lot of things can just happen without you having the time to talk with your partner first. So you're at a club, you get a bit drunk, a bit happy, you hook up with someone. In that case, of course, like, you're not a bad person, so no one should be condemned about
Right.
that. You're not like middle like sex, calling your partner is like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm having sex. No, that's not realistic, obviously. however, you have the honesty and the guts, simple as that, to actually turn to the other person and say, hey, you know what, this and this happened.
Yeah.
And then it's not completely up to the other person,
Yeah.
but it's like you could decide as a couple how you're gonna, act from now on,
Yes.
because this happened.
Yeah.
You can't just go another person's back and actually mock them and keep lying to them, because one leg brings another.
Yes.
That creates a distance.
I agree.
And even though, if someone's completely clueless about
Right.
what's actually going on, that you're going to fuck people behind their backs,
Yeah.
even if they're completely clueless about that, they will sense the emotional distance.
Of
oh
course.
my god, I think you're looking right. I'm like, who's
Yeah,
that?
no, there's so many people here. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful square. We down here in the downtown. It's just a beautiful area.
It's gorgeous.
And we're sitting here talking about non-monogamous relationships.
That was so random. though,
Yeah, no, it's
I don't
cool.
even remember how the conversation
I don't know
was
how it
brought up.
started. I don't know how it
No?
started. But here we are.
Yeah.
No, but I appreciate you sharing those thoughts, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously non-monogamy is becoming more and more frequent.
Yeah.
Whether people know it or don't, it's something that a lot of people partake in, men and women alike. So it's good to hear your perspective,
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty, complex matter,
Yeah.
because it has to do with the rights of women and men,
Right.
social things, how each person grew up, religion sometimes.
Oh, big time.
It's implicated,
Big time.
obviously. But oppression, open communication, society laws, you know what? You have that pressure of society. For example, the simplest thing, if you're actually a couple and you're with someone and you're not married, you don't have the same pressure as, a married couple, because a married couple is expected to spend the whole time together.
Yes.
Have children maybe, etc. Things like that.
Yeah.
A pressure that a non-married couple doesn't have.
Yes.
And a lot of times, that's why a lot of people say that marriage actually is the thing that broke them up.
Yes.
Because there was that extra pressure of society
I
that's
agree.
actually pretty significant.
I
No
agree.
matter how much you say that you're not affected by that. No, you
Yeah.
actually are.
Yes. It's true.
So there are a lot of factors, obviously, and I don't think that there should be one common rule.
Yes.
Let's keep the open communication up, and it's a different case about each person, each situation, every moment. A couple, a chemistry between a couple. Yeah, that's it. A complex matter.
It's very complex. There's a lot involved there. A lot involved. Men and women relationship. But the bottom line is communication.
Yeah, that's
If
it.
you're gonna be with somebody else, it's good to tell them and communicate and make sure you're on the same page. Which a lot of people have a hard time being honest.
I mean, it makes sense though. It's not like we're condemning people for not being honest, but it's not that simple. In the society that we live on,
Yeah.
it's not that simple always. And a first start, I think, is truly start creating and educating people,
Yeah.
and creating a society which is way more accepting to, human default.
Right.
Simple as that.
Of course.
Should actually address things openly, way more openly,
Yeah.
and not condemn them immediately
That's right.
when
Good
it comes
point.
up. Yeah.
Very good point. Man, I can talk to you for hours, but
Yeah, it's pretty great.
it's fascinating. Let's continue this off camera. This is
Sure.
very powerful. So guys, thanks for watching. She's very private. I would say follow her, but she doesn't want her personal information out. So I am not gonna put her information, but if you have any other questions, please drop some comments below and let's chat. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.